Hi, and welcome to part 3 of our session on medical blogging, the anatomy of a blog. In part 3, we will look at the finishing touches to a blog. When we have our content written, how can we give links or give references? How do we edit and proofread? How do we conclude it with a good call to action? And then how do we promote our blog so that more and more people can see what we've written? Let's start with linking. There are external and internal links in blogging. Now, internal links help us to link the pages of one website together. The aim of this is to show off your knowledge or your range of content. Going back to the example that we had earlier about two topics on a website writing about genetics and biomedical research. Now, if we've managed to write our core article and we've given links to various other subtopics, and we can link these subtopics to other pillar topics or other material on your website, Google, when it goes through your website, has the ability to jump from one piece of content to the other with the help of internal links. It'll approach one article, find a link to another, and yet to another, and basically has the impression that this website or this blog is very rich in content. The person who has written it has great subject matter expertise, and this site is worth displaying to its readers. So this would get your web page or blog page ranking even higher. As opposed to you've written a single blog with a single topic with maybe one or two internal links, Google would come on this page and find nowhere else to go. It would be stuck. It can't go, the algorithm would not be able to search the other pages. So even though you've written a lot of material, it largely goes unseen because you haven't linked them together. So that's the value of an internal link. If you have a blog strategy, you would know, you would have a bird's eye view of what topics you're going to write about and how you're going to link them together using internal links. Now we move on to external links. External links are basically links that connect two pages from different websites to each other. So they link pages on different websites with the aim to show off your research, adds to your credibility, and it's a bit like how we add references at the end of a case report or a journal publication. We need to show the reader where we got our information from. What websites did we refer to? This is really important in medical content because we need to be able to verify what we're writing. So we link to thematically relevant pages, we check for trustworthiness, we make sure that we're getting our references from good, credible sites, and we use the right amount of internal and external links, keep a balance between them, and you avoid paid links. Now we move on to another sort of linking called backlinks. These are links on websites other than your own that go back to a page on your website. Backlinks are also called inbound links because they represent another website's traffic coming to your own site. The quality and the quantity of your backlinks can help you rank higher in search engines such as Google and Bing. So the idea is that you are basically linking to a quality website. If this is your blog and you have reference to an article from the CDC website, you have created an external link to this website. But the CDC has a backlink from your website, right? It has an inbound link from your website where somebody coming to your website would visit this link and be able to come to their website. The amount of backlinks that a website would receive would make it rank higher in Google search engine results because Google would believe that this is a trusted source. Lots of people are referring to this content, so this person must know what they're talking about. Now, should you worry about it as a writer? Not really. You can't control the number of backlinks you receive as a writer. That is something that your website SEO expert or SEO optimizer would be concerned with. You have to focus on your external and external links. Now we have our content together. We've created our outline, we have our headings, we've created the content inside it, we've incorporated keywords, we've incorporated references and links. We're almost ready to publish, but we do need to look over it before we do. There are two types of edits that we need to be careful of. One is grammar and the other is plagiarism. Now, for grammar, we have various tools that are available, most of them free. Grammarly is a great tool that is a Google browser extension. You can just download it on your Google browser and it will automatically highlight areas, grammatical errors, spelling errors, ways that you can optimize your content to make it sentences shorter and easier to understand. It even gives you a score for engagement where it tells you how engaging your topic is. Maybe you could use more adjectives, maybe it's a bit bland. And delivery is basically if your topic is a certain thing, is aiming to cover a certain topic, have you been able to cover that topic? So this is a great editing tool as well. And we have a free SEO plagiarism checker. Again, you can copy and paste your material on this, and it will highlight the lines that are plagiarized, and you can go ahead and change the content of these words. As we know, original content is very big in blog writing. This is supposed to be your point of view. It's supposed to be a less formal way of describing formal things. So we don't necessarily have to give a word for word quote. We can explain the same idea in our own words, except for, of course, when you have a direct quote from somebody. At that point, you should link to that quote or the source from which you derive that quote. Now, a great thing in language again, and this speaks to the overall tone of your post, is the active versus the passive language that you use. So when we are saying 8 hours of sleep is recommended, we are using the passive tone. While when we're using active tone, we can say you should sleep for at least 8 hours. Now, Google prefers active over passive. So where you can change your sentences, you may want to look into that kind of, or that style of writing. Finally, we end with the call to action. Now, we are looking at the last part of your blog where you've concluded what your points, you've brought your article to an end, and now you need to tell your audience what they should do next. A call to action is a prompt on a website that tells the user to take some sort of specified action. It's typically written as a command or an action phrase such as sign up or buy now or read more, and generally takes the form of a button or a hyperlink that will take you to that page. For example, on this web page or blog on IPF, it has a call to action button that says learn more about IPF. For this is a healthcare center that has a call to action to make your appointment. And here, this is a blog post about knowing your heart age and linked to learning your heart age through an automatic calculator, a link linking to that as well. So a call to action basically instructs your reader what you would like them to do next. Your blog post is ready, you've published it on your website, and it's now, live for everyone to see. The problem with this is that often if your website is not ranking or is still new, we need to find ways to promote traffic to this website. And I liken it to a billboard that we see on the highway. Now, if you created an ad or you've created content or you've created something and you've kept it in your room, nobody would be able to see it, right? You would get only a few eyes on it. But if you put that same content on a billboard or a hoarding on a highway, you would see a lot more people would be able to at least see it. So you would generate interest in it. Social media acts the same way for blog posts. You can add links to your blog or your website on various channels so that they would go back. People looking at your channels, your followers looking at your channels would say, oh, that person has written a blog on their website. Click on the link and it goes back to your website. It would increase your traffic. You can also repurpose the content on your blog. A blog is generally a longer form of content. Most of social media platforms, they concentrate on shorter pieces of content. So you can repurpose the content that you've used in your blog for smaller posts on social media as well. The key to promotion here is, of course, repurposing your content and sharing your link on various profiles. This is a similar tactic that I used for a blog that I wrote for doccafe.com, which we're talking about a way of medical employment, but I shared it on my LinkedIn website, on my LinkedIn profile, where I linked to a particular the blog, and I asked my target audience to check it out and hope you enjoy it. So I've included a call to action here as well. So these are just several ways in which you can, as professionals, highlight the work that you've done on your own site and increase your traffic and ranking. Now that we know what goes into a good post, we can now identify things that would make a blog not popular with Google. One, if you post unoriginal content. Two, if you go off topic. The idea is to go logically from point A to point B to point C. And the mark of a great post is one that guides the reader from point to point without staying from the subject. Next, we go to unorganized content. Some writers fail to organize their points logically according to a format that appeases Google and the reader. False content. Being truthful is just as important as maintaining a reader's interest. Well-researched content with good external links and reference material will earn you respect and trust. Poorly written content can be avoided with the help of tools like Grammarly, very easy to edit, or get somebody to look over your content and highlight grammar mistakes that can be avoided before you publish. The last bit is that we see, now that we've learned how to make a blog and how to write a blog, we must understand the value of a medical blog. Why is it important for us, other than the rankings and other than the interest and the website traffic? Why is it important for us as scientists or medical professionals to continue to contribute to online content? Well, first we need to understand that we're writing for two different types of target audiences. We may be writing for a B2C audience, which means we're writing to patients, community, or lay people. And our job here is to educate and entertain. So we are looking to disseminate knowledge. We're hoping to clarify medical information, hoping to explain complex material easily so that they're able to digest it. It helps us to build trust in the community as well. And by awareness, we create interest in the services or products we're offering. We create desire. People want to know more about it, and then they're more prompted to take action on it. So that's when we're talking to patients in the community, the value we bring through blogging there. When we're talking about a B2B target audience, we're looking at peers in healthcare. That means we're looking at other companies or other organizations within the healthcare industry that we can communicate with. We can share our knowledge, we can network with them, and eventually we position ourselves as experts in our domain. Now, with that, I end with a quote that is my favorite quote about medical blogging or blogging in general, is we need to keep in mind, how does your blog provide information, education, and unique actionable advice? People read your blog to learn something, challenge themselves, and better their lives in some way. If your blog can't hand them something, they won't be back for more. So with that, I'd like to conclude the session on medical blogging. Thank you so much for your kind attention. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.